Alright, AOC just cooked Elon Musk on his own app, and this honestly happens far too often. For the genius that he is, Elon Musk can't stop himself from firing off the dumbest tweets and getting corrected by AOC, by Pete Buttigieg, even by his own community notes. It happens time and time again. So I want to use this video to break down AOC's rising role within the Democratic Party. She's really stepping up to fill this vacuum of leadership that we're seeing. I also want to talk about Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, what they're up to on the side, some disgusting stuff, trying to cut entire programs like VA healthcare, the NIH, Pell Grants. We'll get to that. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. I also want to talk about purity testing a little bit later in the video. I see some purity testing going on within our party that I'd like to fix. So let's start off with this tweet. This is a perfect example of how DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, is only going to screw over the average American, people like you and I, and make the rich richer. So this says, the CFPB, big news, will be sending checks totaling nearly $2 billion to more than 4 million consumers scammed by LexingtonLaw/CreditRepair.com. These payments involve no taxpayer dollars and are funded by civil penalties because they scammed people. So the agency that's sending $2 billion back to people after they got scammed is an agency that Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk want to delete. There are unintended consequences of this terrible plan that Elon Musk and Vivek have. I guess we could say they're unintended, but they're very intended because Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are both billionaires trying to enrich themselves at the cost of other people, and we can already see that manifesting with the way that they're trying to weaponize DOGE and eradicate certain departments that are needed while creating their own department. I just find it so ironic because it's supposed to be the Department of Government Efficiency, yet it's so efficient you need 2 leaders when you should have 1. It's so efficient that it's a redundancy because there are already other departments that are meant for government efficiency. So it's just funny. The agency that's sending $2 billion back to people after they got scammed is the agency leading Republicans want to delete. Again, both Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are billionaires, out of touch with the average person. I mean, the only interaction that Elon Musk gets with the average person are the Russian bots on Twitter that he thinks are the average American citizen. But you can look at this chart. Entire programs Musk and Ramaswamy propose cutting. The VA healthcare, the Veterans Association healthcare, they plan on cutting $119 billion of that. The National Institute of Health, $47 billion of that. Pell Grants, which are means tested to help people that need it the most, of course, are $22 billion cut there. Head Start, $12 billion. The FBI, $11 billion. Federal prisons, $8 billion. I mean, federal prisons are in a terrible state right now. You don't make them better by cutting funding. The SEC, $2 billion cut. I mean, even going back to the top of this list, just think about the impacts that this would have on everyday Americans. Veterans would have less health care, obviously. Disabled Americans would have less health care. By the way, we will be fighting for veterans, for disabled Americans, for people who need Pell Grants on this channel every single day over the next 4 years, because it's obvious that Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk are only fighting for themselves. I mean, think about it. Does anybody in Trump's immediate circle, anybody in his cabinet, are they affected by any of these things? Are there any veterans who rely on the VA? Are there any people who, I mean, no, Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy don't care as long as it doesn't affect them. It's a tale as old as time with conservatives, but while Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are walking around Capitol Hill, AOC is actually building a resistance of her own. Ocasio-Cortez seeks House post that would make her a top foil to Trump. After years of challenging her party from the left, Representative AOC, a New York Democrat, announced a bid to join its leadership ranks in Congress. And you can almost see the play that AOC has been making lately. There is this vacuum of leadership within the Democratic Party, and she has been posting more on social media. She's been going to the places where people need to hear her voice. She's been directly engaging with people on Twitter like Elon Musk, we'll get to that in 1 second, getting millions of views while doing so. Now she's seeking a top post that could set her up for a great political future. She already has one, but I genuinely think she'll be the president someday. I don't know if it'll be 2028. I would still vote for her, but something's telling me she's making a little bit of a longer play here. This reads, Representative AOC of New York built her reputation clashing with House Democratic leaders. Now, for the first time, she'll take a shot at joining their ranks to fight back against Donald Trump. If she succeeds and is chosen as the panel's ranking member, the 35-year-old congresswoman would be by far the youngest Democrat to help lead a House committee. She would gain a platform not only to investigate President-elect Donald J. Trump's administration, but also to help her party chart a path back from electoral defeat. That would be so amazing. AOC would be leading the charge against the Donald Trump investigations when he inevitably screws up. Quote, Democrats will face an important task. We must balance our focus on the incoming president's corrosive actions and corruption with a tangible fight to make life easier for America's working class, AOC wrote in a letter to colleagues. I will lead by example by always keeping the lives of everyday Americans at the center of our work. This is going to set up such a perfect dynamic because it's just AOC versus the billionaires. Is there anybody better than AOC to take on the billionaires that Donald Trump is surrounding himself with? I mean, she's already doing it on Twitter every single day. She responded to Elon Musk, who just randomly tweeted out, defund the ACLU. He just randomly tweets out terrible stuff and it gets 200,000 likes and 69.5 million views. People in the replies pointed out, defund Elon Musk. Elon takes way too much taxpayer money and subsidies when he could easily fund his own companies. Brian Krasentine said, why would you seek to defund an organization that helps people pay their legal bills? Do you not believe in our legal system? And AOC just said, they receive $0 in taxpayer funds. That's a brutal fact check. Meanwhile, y'all are proposing defunding veterans' healthcare, Medicare, and Social Security when you think no one is watching. Doesn't get lower than gutting some of the only lifelines left for veterans, seniors, widows, and the disabled. And they're trying to do it quietly under the guise of government efficiency. And here's the reason why. In order to enact tax cuts, you need to replace that revenue that would be coming from the rich people, and they're going to replace that by cutting entitlements. If they're able to get that through, it seems like they really want to. So AOC hits them with a brutal fact check and actually gets 4 million views in the process, which is a good way to push back. A lot of times I feel disillusioned because Elon Musk will get 50 million views on something and then the replies, the fact checks will only get a fraction. But having someone like AOC with a massive platform, I mean, I could definitely see this propelling her onto the national stage in a way that she already is national, but this will really mean that she is leading the Democratic Party, or at the very least, leading the resistance against Donald Trump and the billionaires that he's surrounding himself with. AOC is great, and she first must contend with Representative Gerald E. Connolly, 74, a pugnacious, well-liked 8-term incumbent from Virginia who has pitched himself as a more seasoned investigator. The contest promises to be a significant test of just how far one of the brightest Democratic stars has moved towards the mainstream since crashing into Congress 6 years ago as a left-wing insurgent. And AOC has really matured her style of politics. She's moved towards a more pragmatic style. When she first came in, she had, a very idealistic vision of what could happen, but now she's learned how to work within the system, how to rise to certain roles, like here, and completely take advantage of them, leverage them. There is little doubt that AOC, who joined a sit-in protest in the speaker's suite before she even had been sworn in, has grown more comfortable working within her party's power structure, as I was just saying. She won a primetime speaking slot at this year's DNC and served as a prominent surrogate for VP Kamala Harris. The question now is whether her colleagues are ready to return the embrace and elevate a sometimes confrontational leader of the left-wing squad to be one of Mr. Trump's most visible foils. And honestly, the time is calling for AOC. Especially over the past week, everybody's been talking about healthcare, and that is one of AOC's bread and butter topics. She could really use that to bring both sides together, to launch her platform to the national stage, and make some great change within our institutions, because she's learned how to do that. She knows how to build a tent. She knows how to reach across to more moderate Democrats, and hopefully this will lead to actual change for the working class, for people like you and I. I'll leave it at that. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.